Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're watching the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of geek news, product views, and answers that you can use, like an answer to the question, just how many people think that Diana and I are having a boy? She's still pregnant. I asked this question of you earlier, and if you follow me anywhere in social, you likely saw the straw poll that I made, and according to you, or at least 2/3 of you, you think we're having a boy. Only 1/3 of you believe we're having a girl. 919 people have voted so far. Voted. You don't get a vote for if the baby's a boy or a girl. It is what it is, and that product will be out of beta soon, we hope, and it'll be ready for testing soon. We don't know when. I'd say the countdown's on, but the countdown really can't begin because she's past her due date. This is normal for pregnant women, apparently. I don't know. I've never been pregnant, nor have I tracked a pregnancy, much like I have this one, for semi-obvious reasons. So let me go ahead and welcome you to this live stream, another live edition of TLDR, and thank the 926 patrons as of this moment. Potentially baby Pirillo's birthday. We don't know. Diana hasn't even burped. Showed no signs of contracting at all. And we're hoping it'll be soon. We will see. So thank you for the support, all you patrons. Everyone, thank you. You're all my nomies, and I want to thank you for all the support you give, including Mats Millington. And I don't know if Mats was expecting that I would print this out. Certainly retweeted it. It's very nice. He picked up his first nature box, courtesy of our code, Pirillo, P-I-R-I-L-L-O. If you use our link, naturebox.com/Pirillo, this time, they just started a new promo the other day. You get a free box, basically. So if you want a free snack box, there you go. Use our code. Sign up for NatureBox. naturebox.com/Pirillo. I just gave you food, effectively. In a roundabout way. I'm obviously not giving you food directly, but I'm free snack box. If you want to turn it down, it's on you, but I know geeks and nerds and non-geeks and non-nerds love to snack, and besides, now you'd have something to munch on while you're watching TLDR. Today's array of announcements, beyond anything that might have been personal or something related to, energy and needing to eat. Samsung had a series of announcements, including the announcement of not this, but the successor to this. This is a Galaxy Note 3. Samsung announced the Galaxy Note 4. It is even notier. I mean, you've probably already seen all the specs, so I don't want to dive too deep in that. I think the improvements that they made were in all the right places. And some, I have to remind everybody out there of this every single time. Some were expecting radical departures. You can't do that, dude. I think Samsung has had a pretty good success story with the Galaxy Note series. The Note 2, certainly the Note 3. The Note 4 is even notier. Just think about it that way. It improved in the areas where it should have improved upon without radically departing from what made or has made the Note 3. Okay, I'm going to go as far as to say it, the leading phablet. A phone tablet. Big screen. In fact, my mom, the other day, she saw my brother, I'm not my brother, my brother-in-law. I kind of like my brother. I didn't grow up with him, but he's a good guy. He's a geek at heart, probably a bigger geek than I am. He has a Note 3, and Mom remarked on the screen size, and she was like, whoa, that's a nice screen. What is it? And Hector kind of told her a bit about it. I think that Samsung's doing all the right things it needs to do with the Galaxy Note series, not pushing the envelope too far, bringing people along so that when ultimately, I believe, I have no insight as far as actual proof, but I believe that Samsung will eventually move the Note series, the classic, or pretty much every bit of the Galaxy world that Samsung has, away from Android and square into Tizen. I believe it's a matter of not if, but when. And I don't think they could afford to wait too much longer, if only because getting adoption for another platform these days is a bit of a hurdle. And Samsung's got a good thing going for it, certainly with the Note. I would be very happy in upgrading my Samsung Galaxy Note 3 to the Note 4. No doubt. I would feel about making that leap like I do feeling that like I want to leap from one iPhone to the next iPhone. it's a better experience overall. In fact, it even charges faster, which is great. Battery life on the Note has seemed to be fantastic as far as smartphones go. Certainly, smartphones with screen sizes this big, and you cannot describe the Samsung Galaxy Note series as small. I mean, these are big screens for phones. That's what they call them, phablets. They're like in between a tablet and a phone. So if you were tuning in to expect me regurgitate something that's a spec sheet, you can look online for that stuff. I'm just telling you, I think Samsung's making the right moves with the Galaxy Note 4. If you liked, that's not a word in English that I know of. If you liked the Note 3, I think you would like the Note 4. They made nips and tucks. Maybe you were expecting something different, but you can't. That's how you know a product's pretty much successful. If they don't change it too much. If they change it too much, that means it's yet to find a successful point in the marketplace. And that's good news for Samsung. I mean, they've been incrementally improving the experiences on their flagship devices for quite some time. Probably the most interesting feature for me, if I were to go from the Note 3 to the Note 4 and have that opportunity, is the Samsung Gear VR. This is a product that they're working on with Oculus, or now a Facebook company, where you can use your Note 4 as a screen. Granted, the screen would be facing the other way, but you'd use it as a screen with the gear that's optimized for virtual reality. So if you're wondering, why should I get a Note 4? If you're into VR, or you're thinking about VR, that is a huge bonus. If you're a gamer, or someone who loves gaming, see, I don't know if I touched upon this either. Apparently there's been an issue with people using, or misusing, as some accuse them of, the word gamer. Gamer is nebulous. What is gamer? How do you define gamer? Because I know gamers aren't limited by the genre of games they play. I mean, I guess I could be considered a gamer. I'm a casual gamer, if you want to put a finer point on it, or a classic gamer. I like the classic games. I like puzzle games. Am I a puzzle gamer? I'm not. But I would never call myself a gamer. That's not a part of my identity. Yet there are people who I guess are a little concerned that the word gamer meant something to them, and now the connotation is kind of expanded beyond a certain segment of the marketplace. So I'm very careful when I use the word gamer, because I know it's a nebulous term, and I do not want to ruffle any feathers there at all. Suffice it to say, I think virtual reality right now is square in the galaxy of, not to be confused with the Galaxy series of devices from Samsung. Everything I've seen to this point has been fascinating, interesting, fun, but still a bit unpolished. VR isn't quite ready for prime time. I think 5 years from now, yes. Does that mean that this would keep me from wanting to try VR right now? No, but I would also be able to, or I would willingly and understandably attenuate my excitement for VR, knowing full well that the technology exists, but it may be fully baked enough to work, but the applications or the games aren't necessarily there yet. Will they come down the pike? Absolutely. I think it's fun and fascinating to play something in virtual reality. It's still a little weird to watch someone with a virtual reality headset. I mean, it's difficult enough when you're looking at someone. Obviously, I'm holding the phone the wrong way. You're looking at someone, keying in on their smartphone and their face is down. But imagine it's this with a hat on. It just looks weird seeing anybody doing this. If you're doing it, you don't care. You're oblivious to the world. I'm reminded of Wall-E. With the people that were on the spaceship, they had the virtual reality screens and they were cut off from everybody else. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just saying that VR is getting there. I'm very happy to see Samsung driving forward. I would wait to reserve final judgment on anything, of course, after I've had direct experience. But I think it's certainly a value add for anybody who might be thinking about going from their current smartphone to a Note 4, because this will work with the Note 4, the Samsung Gear VR. Probably more interesting than VR, because VR is not new. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while. Of course, Oculus has been out for a while, and Google had their, what do they call it, Google Cardboard thing. They handed out and showed people what they're doing with their Android devices in this piece of cardboard VR at Google I/O. I think the hashtag was just simply hashtag cardboard. I've never even used that. I never got my hands or my eyes on one of those. I would love to, but just haven't. beyond just those new product launches, they've got something now called the Galaxy Note Edge. How do I describe this? So imagine you've got your phone here. You see the phone's got clearly defined boundaries here, the clearly defined edges. Well, imagine if the screen kind of cascaded off the side, just like, so the screen basically kind of wraps around onto one side. So as you're holding the phone, there's like the screen is still there, but it's like the side of your phone is the screen, or part of the screen that could be used for Samsung doesn't know what. So they've released a piece of hardware with some software optimization, but they're not even sure what's going to be created around this particular part of their product. In looking at it, it looks fascinating. I don't know how well it works in real life. Holding on to something and having buttons on the side, sometimes to me can get in the way. I'm not a huge fan of software buttons or capacitive buttons, so I don't know how I would feel holding onto the phone with a screen on the side. It certainly looks like something that could be valuable for some people. Will it take off and become the norm? Only time will tell. I'm not going to pass judgment on something that I haven't necessarily used. It looks fascinating, although reports have said, even though I'm holding it with my left hand, apparently that's a problem. Left-handed people apparently are having issues in testing the phone on site. I don't know. I'm right-handed, so wouldn't bother me, but that doesn't mean that there wouldn't be a problem with the design. Because again, it's something that's different, and it's something that may serve a purpose and be unique enough to sell a few of those to the people that might be interested in that type of hardware feature. I mean, this is the beauty. I'll speak to it again. The beauty of not just Android and its ecosystem, but being able to try something new, try something different. You know what? If it works well, awesome. If it doesn't work well, at least they tried. I mean, that's how I feel, because I honestly, sometimes the worst ideas, well, not the worst ideas. Sometimes it's better to try and fail than never to have tried at all. So I would much rather see them try than anything. That's what I want to see, because if anything, maybe Samsung does this and then they realize, oh, maybe we can do it differently, or yeah, we really like it, and then some other company gets inspired to do something completely different, but they start thinking beyond just this single flat screen. So I always appreciate seeing those type of features. But the question is, I don't know. Well, at least from my perspective, it looks unique from a very, very, very distant view or viewpoint, but I'd reserve final judgment until I've used it. So I would be very hesitant to say that it's going to work or not work based on just what I've seen. Certainly unique, this curved side display. I wish I had one in my hands to be able to show you. However, like I said, you've probably seen a billion videos of these products by now, and so sometimes regurgitating the facts isn't necessarily the value that I'd like to be able to offer when I do these live videos for you. Sony, not to be forgotten, had talked about their Xperia Z3 and Z3 Compact being the first smartphones with PS4 Remote Play. Fascinating. I like that. I wish that Microsoft would, kind of jumpstart that connectivity between, and I think they're tilting at that with the idea of smart glass on various platforms, not just Microsoft's own, and interactivity or interoperability with the Xbox One. But this is pure Sony, a Sony console, a Sony device in your hands or on the desk or table or a coffee table or whatever. Having those experiences sewed together makes a more complete ecosystem. So now, see, this is the beauty of it. If you have a PS4 and you like the PS4 and you need a new tablet, you may be looking closely at what they've got in their Xperia line, especially if you know you already have a PS4. You can complement it with another device that does this, that, and the other thing, and suddenly now you're tied into their ecosystem. That's exactly what Sony wants, and it's a better experience for you too. I would be remiss in not sharing that I don't have a PS4. My brother Ben is on his third PS4. Apparently, it's just not working well for him at all, and he keeps trying. It may be a matter of time before he's no longer using a PS4. It's completely up to him. I'm not involved in anything. He's just been having problems with his PS4, which is kind of disappointing because he got the PS4, I think, to play with my brother Adam, who has the PS4. And I don't know what,
Mom? He bought a new PS4.
Yeah.
And had problems with errors and has sent it back,
They keep sending Sony keeps sending refurbs to my brother Ben. So if anybody from Sony's listening, can you help my brother out? I don't think anybody from Sony's... I don't even know anybody from Sony anymore. I used to years and years and years ago. Not that that helped me at all. Didn't help me. Sorry, Ben. I wish I knew more to be able to help you through, because I just want you to be happy. I want anybody to be happy. I'd say this. I got no horse in this race. I don't have a PS4, a Wii, or a Xbox. I only have one Xbox 360. That's primarily because it's a DVD player. So I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I love my brother. I don't care what he uses. I just want him to be happy. I care about you. I don't care what you use. I just want you to be happy. I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand in relation to technology. It's like so many people get slagged. Like, I was seeing this in social today. Some people who, publish video out and put it online and share their opinions and their thoughts, journalists or not, they were getting slagged. They were getting raked across the coals for saying anything positive about one company. Some other people out there seem to project their own insecurities onto these other people, and just claiming just outlandish, unprovable things, and really just starting to name call. And it was not, it just wasn't something I always see in the tech industry, and it just always that drives me nuts. I mean, you know what? Just because they don't agree with you doesn't mean they're wrong. Or just because they don't choose the same thing that you choose to use doesn't mean they're a bad person. Or it doesn't even mean that they don't agree with you. It's okay. It's okay to like Android and iOS, and it's okay to like PS4 and Xbox One. It's okay to like Star Wars and Star Trek. You can't. The world is not black and white like some people would have you believe, and I think geeks and nerds just need to kind of realize that other people are leading lives that they're not leading. It's not just even geeks and nerds. I'll take it as far as I'll call them religious zealots. People who are so deeply tied into their religious beliefs have the same problem. They can't let other people have their own experiences. So I don't care what you use. I really don't. I just want you to be happy. I care sometimes. I care about you. But you know what I'm saying? Do you feel me here? It just drives me nuts. Just getting accused of something that is just completely unfounded, just because someone disagrees with you. Some people just need to think before they speak. Granted, sometimes I need to do the same thing. But I've thought about that point several times over, to the point where I know many of you have heard this speech from me before a few times over. Either way, I think it's fantastic that Sony's doing that with their range of devices. Not going to influence my decision of whether I'm going Xbox One or PS4 at this stage. I think more than anything, what would influence me is my brother having a problem with the PS4. I'm like, the way they're handling it, I'm like, at least I could walk into a Microsoft store. I think I could walk into a Sony store, but I'm not sure if I'd get the same level of service. I'd feel more comfortable with walking into a Microsoft store. Mota. Now, I didn't really know about this brand, and I guess they don't really have a shipping product, and it's one of those crowdfunded tech projects, and you know how I feel about those. I'll wait to see what happens after something actually ships. They've got something that I think is interesting or fascinating for me in terms of a wearable. Let me go ahead and flip through the list of patrons here to give them credit they deserve. This presentation, by the way, will be updated in the middle of the month, or towards the 10th and the 15th. That's the way I've started to do it, to make sure all your pledges are processed. Hopefully, if you're an active patron, your pledge has processed, and you're telling the truth, and you're not lying, and all that stuff. So either way, that's when this particular presentation will be updated. Mota has something called a SmartRing, and I don't wear jewelry. I wear this little band because Diana asks me to, and it's pretty lightweight, and I don't even think about it anymore. It's just there. It's very nondescript. It's just a simple red band. I don't even wear my wedding ring every day, and Diana doesn't either. I don't care. Like, we already know we're married. It's not a big deal. I just don't like wearing things other than clothes in general. And so I thought the idea of a smart ring would actually fascinate me, because I'd be more inclined to wear a ring on a daily basis than I would be some kind of band on the wrist. So color me a fan of the idea of a very simplified smart ring for a lot of different reasons. Because to me, it's this, if I see a smartwatch that looks like this, I'm like, whoa, not interested. I don't, no. Even something, a smartwatch with a screen, let's say this big, too big. To me, that's way too big. I don't want that on my, I don't want that. Would you wear something like that?
Depends what it did for me.
That's my dad. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. You know, it's just, it's too much. It's overkill. You know, I don't want a big screen on my wrist at all. I'm not a fan of that. I want a wearable that'll work depending on what it does for me, but that's not something that I think is going to be attractive for usability purposes and battery life and just in general, just bulky, big. This is very slim, very lightweight. I never have to recharge it. I like that. So anyway, I saw this. You may be interested in learning more. It came across my radar today. Mota SmartRing. I'd be interested in following that to see how well it works. Although, based on their previous wearable experiences, it's probably not going to work that well, which is disappointing. It's a great idea, but huge, gigantic question marks in relation to the execution. Toshiba also announced something today that is also fascinating. The Encore Mini tablet running Windows 8, full-on Windows 8, for $120. It's a tablet, like a little tablet. I don't want to say it's like a Nexus 7, but let's just say around the size of a Nexus 7 or an iPad mini, right around that size. And it's $120 for a Windows 8 tablet. It's not supercharged or anything, but you know what? If you want to run Windows, you don't want to spend a lot of money, you don't need an amazing experience, you just need to get the job done. I think it'll work well. I think the desktop experience is going to be nightmarish / horrific / don't buy it for the desktop experience. But for $120, that's not bad. Plus, apparently, as a bonus, you get Office 365 Personal free for a year, and I think that's something that is extended to anybody who buys either Windows 8 or Windows 8 compliant or Windows 8 PC that is a part of this particular deal or offer. So that's $65 normally, or right around there. Office 365 Personal, free for a year. So you're really not spending a lot of money on a Windows 8 PC then. If you get that license, you get to try Office 365 for a year, the personal license for it, and then a Windows 8 tablet, which may or may not work. But $120, it's not bad. Would I be interested in that? Possibly, if only to try it. I'm the type of person, though, who believes that Windows 8 works well on a touchscreen device if it's just touch optimized. That is the classic now, the modern menu, the tiles. I don't want to see the desktop if I'm using a touchscreen device. Like even the Surface 2 or Surface Pro 2 that I have. I have not upgraded to the Surface Pro 3. No immediate plans on that either. But for $120, that ain't nothing to sneeze at. That's to me, that's probably within the realm of Geek Impulse buy territory. So that might be one of those devices that I might pick up this holiday season just to try it, just to see what's the fuss. I may even walk into the Microsoft store. I mentioned Microsoft Store twice now in the same video. Oh, I am the absolute worst Apple fanboy ever. Spent half the video talking about Samsung. Now I'm talking about Microsoft. That's it. That's it. I'm so in love with Apple. Oh, people are gonna unsubscribe now because I'm biased. You just know. There are people out there, just doesn't matter what you do, what you say, they're gonna say the things they're gonna say and think the things they're gonna think, and you can't change their mind. Hell, I wouldn't even have to mention Apple in this video, and I'm sure someone out there in this galaxy, not to be confused with the Galaxy line of products from Samsung, would have accused me of being an Apple fanboy. Someone. I guarantee, even if I didn't even mention the word Apple. You can't avoid it. By the very nature of existing and having purchased an Apple product at any point in the past, you are automatically a fanboy. By people who can't handle your religion. Choice of a smartphone. I'm sorry. Was kind of putting it in context for you? Just don't go beheading anybody. It's effectively what people do. They treat other people like they're not other people, and that's wrong. You're a human being. You should treat other human beings like they're human beings. New top-level domains, .com, .net, .org. For the longest time, that's really most of what we had. We have .us, .tv, all that stuff. Now, there are new TLDs coming down the pike. .restaurant, .gifts, .sarl, S-A-R-L, .sarl, .pizza, .immo, what is that? In my modest opinion, IMMO, .business, .network, because .net is just way too short, .digital, .accountants, .finance, .insure, .loans, .life, .guide, .church, .direct, .place, and .deals. They're all going to be TLDs. I think this is bad. I think it's fun. It's fascinating. But, you know, you want to talk about phishing attempts. Imagine someone registers Domino's.pizza and says, hey, guess what? We're trying to send you a pizza. You get a free pizza coupon code. Just log in with your credentials right here. We'll send you a pizza. And you look at the domain. Oh, Domino's.pizza sounds legit to me. Just saying. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's the problem. I think domains are dead. Or on their way out, honestly. Apps are where they're at, really. I mean, you go to Google. What do you care what website you go to, right? You go to Google and you count on Google to serve up or Bing. All two of you who use Bing. Don't want to offend you. Although I'm sure I did by the very nature of mentioning Google. You're such a Bing fanboy. You use Bing on your iPhone. Apple fanboy. I've had so many of these. I've seen so many of these interactions. You know what? PewDiePie turned off his comments on YouTube. I don't blame him at all. Even Basher was mentioning the fact that 80% of the comments he gets on his Minecraft videos have nothing to do with the video. I want to keep comments. I really do. I want to keep comments, on the videos I do. Obviously I can't keep you from saying the things you're going to say. I don't know. I have no... there's no drive for me to turn off comments, but you know what? I think it may be close to time to turn off comments in videos, and I'm taking that cue from PewDiePie. That doesn't stop you from saying what you want to say. Hell, record another video. But the problem is that all the good comments seem to get drowned out by just a minority of bad ones. But that's the world, quite honestly. I mean, I think the world's probably, what is it, 5% douchebags, and they're the only ones you ever hear from. Where's the other 95? Oh, wait, it's the 1%, right? And then we are the 99. Unfortunately, sometimes you got to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Google, speaking of being a Bing fanboy, is bringing the Chrome OS desktop to Windows 7. This is kind of neat. Currently a flag and Chrome flags for Canary builds. You can download that. If you got Windows 7, give it a shot. This is interesting for a lot of different reasons. You want to talk about a Trojan. And I don't mean a Trojan horse in a bad way. I mean the idea of a Google Chrome, web browser, installed on a lot of machines. A lot of people like and love and use Google Chrome, even if they don't like or love it. I like Google Chrome. Nothing wrong with it at all. Apart from being the average browser or beyond the average. I'm just saying. They got a flag that'll effectively make the Chrome OS, that operating system, desktop, not just an overlay, but running Chrome OS on top of Windows. So let's say you get a Windows PC and you're like, oh god, it's been forever since it's been updated. I'm having problems with these programs, blah blah blah. Install Chrome OS or install Google Chrome or Chrome OS on top of Chrome and run it full screen, and pretty soon your Windows computer is now a Chrome OS computer. Kind of neat. So they'll have an entire, I won't call it an operating system because it wouldn't be at that level, but a lot of the plumbing of Chrome OS running full screen on, at some point, a Windows machine, a Mac running OS 10. It's Chrome OS running on top of Google Chrome, or Chrome OS-like features on top of Google Chrome, Google Chrome on top of whichever OS you choose. So let's go a step further. Let's say you wanted to try a version of Linux and it wasn't working out for you. Well, instead of starting from scratch, imagine being able to click a button and then suddenly you have Chrome OS. And you didn't have to worry about reconfiguring anything. You had Chrome OS. And that was something that you appreciated and you enjoyed if you liked Google, in the world of Google. So this is very interesting, and I think potentially some people wouldn't even be happy with having Windows 8 on their computer, but they'd be happier with a Chrome OS. So imagine being able to not just replace, but to use Chrome OS on top of Windows 7, Windows 8, but the Chrome OS desktop could be accessible. An OS on top of an OS. And I don't know if this is necessarily emulation world. It's I don't think the world's ever seen anything like that to this point. Think of it like the Chrome browser, but working more like an OS. Icons and tabs and browsing, and it's a fascinating idea. I think that, to me, it's one of the more interesting news stories that I heard today. Now, as I'm getting texts on my phone, everything's good. What? I've got to learn to stop reading this stuff. Ryan Pearson was texting me with a link. I can't see the link. I can't preview it. Before I forget, there's apparently for gold members of Xbox One, or the Xbox Live Service, or Xbox, gold members will soon get free full version game trials. So if you're a gold member, or you had been considering becoming a gold member, that may be something that's valuable to you. I also caught the news, I don't know how I missed this, but Geometry Wars 3 is coming out on a multitude of platforms. Geometry Wars was probably one of my favorite games on the Xbox 360. If that tells you what kind of gamer I am. It was a simple game, loved the game. I wasn't amazing at it. Not as I didn't do as well as some of my gamer friends, people who love to video game or play video games and do a fantastically better job than I do, or I can, but still, something to keep in mind if you are on the Xbox One and you have a gold membership. Then, this is, I even tweeted this earlier, I said, now this is technology. This is where I get excited about this. No joke, this is for real. With a margin of error about 15%. And I quote from the article that I've linked in this video's description. For the first time ever, neuroscientists, those are smart people who work on the brain, have demonstrated the viability of direct and completely non-invasive brain-to-brain communication in humans. Remarkably, the experiment allowed subjects to exchange mentally conjured words despite being 5,000 miles apart. I know some people are like, oh, Samsung this, Samsung that, oh, Xbox, oh, Sony, and I'm like, that, to me, that's awesome. That's the kind of stuff that I really enjoy, when it comes to technology. I mean, think about that. Brain-to-brain communication. Maybe not telepathy like we've, heard about or thought about, but imagine 100 years from now being able, instead of just picking up the phone and calling someone, you can communicate with them directly through either an implant, a cybernetic implant, or some kind of device in and around your head that would allow, direct brainwave communication. And yeah, it'd be interesting, wouldn't it? To know that you could communicate directly with somebody else using technology that was tried and true and authenticated. It's now, no matter, it's not a part of science fiction. It is now science fact. 15% of what they had found in this particular experiment, there was some margin of error, obviously, or I guess that's the best way to put it. Some problems, 15% of the time, but still, that I would say is statistically outstanding. That's cool. That's really that's where, when people ask, well, what fascinates you about technology? That's transformative. That changes lives. That's beyond something that is. That would be upgraded. I mean, this is communication. This is direct communication, brain to brain. Scary, fascinating, compelling, all just rolled into one. That was, out of everything that I read today, that was the one thing that leapt out at me as like, wow, why aren't more people talking about this? I don't know. I think that kind of news always thrills me. Always. When you're talking about the human condition and how we use technology to better ourselves and to better our lives and to better our society and better our world and better our existence, that, to me, that's the beauty of technology. Everything else on top of that, it's fun, it's interesting, but is it transformative? And that is transformative tech that I think could potentially pull us out of the dark ages. And as far as I'm concerned, we're still in the dark ages in relation to technology. And if you disagree, well, you'd get back to me 200 years from now. Just saying, 200 years from now, we are going to be looking like we're in the dark ages. Hell, 20 years ago, I was in the dark ages. I didn't have the internet. Did you? 20 years ago? It's possible. Maybe you did. Not a lot of people, though. Not a lot of people. So, let me go ahead and wrap it up. I think I've said everything I needed to say or wanted to say or cover today, and thank you for giving me your attention. I hope you appreciated everything that I was able to do for you today. Thanks for liking the video, sharing it if you are compelled to do so. Thank you for supporting this endeavor in whatever way you possibly can. Thank you for your comments, so long as they're positive. Thank you for being you. Hope you have a good day. Hope you're having a great week. Hope you're pulling for us. I've seen a lot of support in our community for a baby Pirillo. Very much looking forward to that chapter in my life. It'll be my third chapter. I'm wrapping up my second chapter in my life. Had my first chapter, had my second chapter. I'm moving on to my third chapter in life, and I cannot wait for it to unfold and for you to join me in that experience. At this point, I'm going to wind down and set the stage for the next live video I'm going to record for everybody today. The question, because I do a separate video every day, separate live video, answering a different question. What should you look for in a web host? This is the question I'm going to be answering in a separate video today. This is exclusively for the super patrons. I'm sorry, the super nomies, my patrons. Everyone's one of my nomies. You're one of my nomies, whether you want to be or not, because you're watching. The super nomies get that. In fact, I'm thinking about, like, instead of calling them patrons anymore, I'm just thinking about calling them super nomies. You got the nomies and the super nomies. That way everyone feels like they're a part of something. You know, I like that. Super is the best word. Uber nomies? No, that makes them sound like they're driving around. Pro nomies? No, it's stupid. Yada nomies? Yada? Yada byte is like, you know, terabyte, yada byte, petabyte. No, that's got a different... No one's really helped with that. Super, I think, is the best thing we can come up with. Super nomies. What should you look for in a web host? That is what I'm going to record in a separate video right now in this very channel, and I hope you enjoy that as well. Now, at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.